Good afternoon. Welcome to the Dan Hazlett Variety Hour. I've been given this slot. We're going to have this show on once a week, every week, Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And each week we'll have a special theme, and we'll have a couple of segments. One of those segments is called Star from Afar, and that is a guest star will be on, and a mystery guest star. And today you'll find out in a little bit who that mystery guest star is. There's a theme for this particular week, and that theme is novelty songs. These are all novelty songs, and by novelty songs, what I mean is I'm sure hoping you are amused by them and think they're funny and laugh. And if you laugh, then the theme is funny songs, and if you don't laugh, then the theme is novelty songs. This first song is from my first musical that I wrote. The musical was called Tumble Downtown, and this song, I'm a firm believer that as an artist, we need to artists address the big important issues, the huge questions of life in our work. And this song attempts to do that by asking the musical question: what would happen if you took, on the one hand, Zen Buddhism, and on the other, Wisconsin, and combined them? Because after all, they do seem like similar concepts, don't they? Let's find out. If Zen came to Wisconsin, the capital of cheese, I cheddar to imagine the Munsters on their knees. They'd meditate on Roquefort and every type of blue. Instead of asking WWJ, they'd ask what would fondue. In robes the shade of Colby, monks would seek a mantra word based on milk byproducts. Should this culture shift occurred? If Zen came to Wisconsin, where Packer fans abound, I camembert to contemplate the weird, frightening sound that might be there to greet you when you enter Lambeau Field. 10,000 chanting cheeseheads, their full lotuses reveal. High llamas walk the eightfold path, right on cheesecloth scrolls, asking stuff like, do you see half Swiss or just half whole? Could Zen come to Wisconsin? Some fool may say no way, but Jack, I'm here to tell you, could be the next Monterey. There be incense made from Lamberger. This is the wrong verse. Swaying in the brie. That's how it goes. Purest as Havarti, in that harsh, judgmental tone. I say keep the baloney, but leave the provolone. When Zen comes to Wisconsin, some folks will find it scary, trying to reconcile enlightenment with love. For all that's dairy, there'll be incense made from Limburger, each cottage made divine by a great big Gouda Buddha in a mozzarella shrine. By a great big Gouda Buddha in a mozzarella shrine. And then, of course, you say, that song is very cheesy. Yeah. So this next song is a ancient, traditional Irish folk song that I made up myself. And it's based on a true story. In the same way that those made-for-TV movies are based on true stories. I was reading in the headlines about a doctor in the Carolines with a new implant device. I said, honey, this sounds nice. It's a thingamabob that has sending remote control orgasm. I'm a man without compunction, causing sexual dysfunction, but it's better and much quicker making whoopee with a clicker. Now our love is more ecstatic, and results are less erratic. Ooh, nothing could be finer, it's installed in Carolina. Dr. Banning's automatic, quite emphatic, all organic, new electrostatic, remote orgasmic gizmo. I'm a man without compunction, causing sexual dysfunction, but it's better and much quicker making whoopee with a clicker. Oh, I already did this verse. Our love is more erratic, and results are less erratic. Then the trouble started and I wound up broken-hearted when I came home briefcase-toting, found my wife self-remoting. And the problem just got worse. She keeps a spare one in her purse. Oh, nothing could be finer, it's installed in Carolina. Dr. Banning's automatic, quite emphatic, all organic, new electrostatic, remote orgasmic gizmo. My darling's in elation when I change the TV station, and the neighbor's problematic, his garage is automatic. She keeps falling to the floor when he opens up his door. Ooh, nothing could be finer, it's installed in Carolina. Dr. Banning's automatic, quite emphatic, all organic, new electrostatic, remote orgasmic gizmo. Dr. Banning's automatic, quite emphatic, all organic, new electrostatic, remote orgasmic gizmo. Now, while we're on the subject of marriage, here is my bold decree to trim the family tree. New kind of matrimony. I wanna marry me. Won't have to get dressed up. I'll do the Donald A1 up. Won't need a big prenup when I just marry me. A honeymoon on the Riviera, lie there naked in the sun. My birthday suit is all I'll wear. All I'll have to manage is ménage un. I won't create dissent. I'll be the perfect gent. Win every argument. That's why I wanna marry me. License tells your date of birth too well. Guess I'll have to date myself the day I marry me. The current political and agenda. Is my plan's only flaw if Congress passes an amendment to make same-person marriages against the law? I am my favorite guy. I love me and that's why I'll be faithful till I die. I wanna marry, don't be contrary. Say I will marry me. So now we have reached the portion of the program called Star from Afar, in which we welcome a guest. And this guest is a dear friend of mine who's a wonderful songwriter. He's one of my favorite songwriters. He writes these tender, beautiful, moving songs, and he's from the Mount Pleasant area in Michigan, and he's currently ensconced in a cabin somewhere up north, all by himself. But he has agreed to join us by the mystery of technology, and we want to welcome him, and his name is Dan Bracken. Hi, Dan.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Dan. Thanks for having me. I'm really glad to be a part of this. I'm in a secure, undisclosed location out in the woods, and really ready to be done with this and get back to some kind of normal life. Hopefully, that's not too far off.
So, Dan, it's so nice to have you here. Welcome, and please give us a song.
So this is one that was given as an assignment. It's a one-word assignment, and it was Michigan. When I come home to Michigan, my soul breathes out a true amen for things I want to see. The sunset skies, the canopy of stars at night, fields of plenty, such a sight, and your smile that captures me. The open hand, it beckons me. The rolling hills, the inland seas. Seasons change and so do we. When I come home to Michigan, it doesn't matter where I've been. There's things I want to say to you. I'll tell you everything I know is true, and just how much I long for you each time I go away. The open hand, it beckons me. The rolling hills, the inland seas. Seasons change and so do we. When I come home to Michigan, I know we can begin again. There's things I want to do with you. We will walk into gentle morning light, watch the heron taking flight into a brand new day. The open hand, it beckons surrounds me. The rolling hills, the inland seasons change, and so do we. When I come home, when I come home to Michigan, my soul breathes out a true amen. When I come home to you.
Okay, sorry, we're back. We had a technical snafu, but we're back. And Dan, if you're still there, I hope you're still there. Thank you so much for playing that song. I have a couple interview questions for Dan. And the first one is, the topic we talked about was, addressing the very big, important, serious issues, things we're really passionate about in our songwriting. If there were one thing that you were really passionate about that you always wanted to write a song about, what would that one thing be?
Breakfast. I love breakfast. Every so often I go down and visit my buddy J. Oscar Bittinger, and we do these things called geezer breakfasts with usually with Ralston bowls. And there's this one spot that we go sometimes. I think it's a Polish restaurant maybe on the west side of Grand Rapids, and they have these giant skillets of stuff, like enough to feed a small family. And I have to confess, pretty fond of those.
Here we are again, and the studio crashed entirely. These things happen, but we're good now. I hope you caught most of Dan's answer to my question. I have one more question for Dan, and that is, because this is a very interesting response you gave me. So how many beers, Dan, does it take for you to get in the mood to be inspired to write a song?
So I had a real dry period a couple years ago, maybe 3 or 4. I was due 1 or 2 at Lamb's Retreat. I think I need I guess it's called extrinsic motivation. I need a magic cure for that kind of motivation. And probably 15 years, I guess, 17, 18.
Well, that's pretty interesting, Dan. It's wonderful to hear these answers. Can you give us yet another song from Dan Bracken? Dan Bracken, everyone.
All right, so you want me to do another one? And this was one actually that Dan asked me to do, and I wrote it probably about, 12, 14 years ago, something like that. And it's about a subject near and dear to my heart. We start each day in a special way. It matters not if it's sunny or gray. Life is such a drag when the choices are few. So there is one thing that I'd like to tell you. Life is too short for bad coffee. I've learned a thing or two. Life is too short, and now I see I'll share a cup with you. Well, you can compromise and choke down an instant. Economize with a gas station brew until you realize that the time it flies. Enjoy the simple things with this work of the wise. Life is too short for bad coffee. I think you know it's true. Life is too short, and now I see I'll share a cup with you. You got to brew it fresh and hot cup of joe, no, you just cannot beat it. You can flavor it, but savor it. You can lighten it, but sip it down slow. Life is too short for bad coffee. I think you know it's true. Life is too short, and now I see I'll share a cup with you. Life is too short for bad coffee. I think you know it's true. Life is too short, and now I see I'll share a cup with. I'm so glad I met you.
Yay! Thank you, Dan. It's so beautiful. And thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show. It's a great honor for me to have you be a guest on my show, and I'm very grateful.
Dan, thanks for having me. I miss being physically together with people. Hoping that changes sometime soon. It's great to see everybody doing stuff online, but it's not quite the same as being together. So thanks again for having me.
And I asked Dan to do that particular song because, as he well knows, I've written a response song to that song. That would be this one. My friend Dan, coffee drinking man, his tastes are quite unique. New brews he's known to seek, no standard Arabica for my friend Dan. My friend Dan, world's biggest coffee fan. Don't expect him to adjust. He'll never earn his trust with inferior Robusta. Not for my friend Dan. Some folks in our society may struggle with sobriety. For our Dan of notoriety, the issue's more variety. My friend Dan, caffeine consuming man, whether poured through press or Turkish, Guatemalan, Kona Turkish. Get it wrong, he might seem jerkish. That's my friend Dan. He really is a purist. He'll judge you like a jurist. You should wear a balaclava if you're drinking day-old Java. For my friend Dan, better Joe's always the plan. He'll let you know if you transgress so, if your aim is to impress so. No X in espresso. My friend Dan, if you find you're getting desperate, don't turn to office sludge for respite. You could expect a good browbeating if he finds you've been reheating. Oh, my friend Dan, Sumatra loving man. His reputation's beyond saving, 'cause he gives into his craving. That's right, I caught him microwaving. My friend Dan, I caught him microwaving. My old friend Dan. That's for you, Dan. So we've reached a point in our presentation where we have yet another segment, and this segment is called Dan Hazlett Trivia. Woo! Dan Hazlett Trivia. So I'm going to ask a trivia question, and the first person that gets it right will win a prize. And the prize is a free download of my entire new album that I've been working on for a number of years now. I'm years overdue with a new record, and this one is almost done, and I will send it to you. In one way or another, we'll figure that out. First person to get the question right. It's going to be kind of like getting a signed first edition, except that it won't be signed and it won't be a book. But anyways, and the question is this. Who is the baby on the cover of my family album CD? First person to get that right. So, chime in. I mentioned my play, my musical, Tumble Downtown, and I've written a new musical. I co-wrote it with my daughter Grace, and this musical is called Calling Winston. And the main character, of course, is a songwriter. His name is Winston Coleman. Winston was born in 1905, and it was his lifelong ambition to have his songs placed in Hollywood musicals. He was constantly trying to get a song put in a Hollywood musical in particular scenes. And this first song is he wrote for a Hollywood musical that came out in 1933. It was called Gold Diggers of 1933. And it starred Ginger Rogers, Joan Blondell, Ruby Keeler, Dick Powell. And it's set in the Depression. These are all a bunch of showgirls who are roommates together. And, of course, it's the Depression, so the shows have all closed. None of them have any money. What will they do? How will they pay their rent? Oh, I know. They need to meet rich men. That's the theme of the movie. And except one of the roommates is having a romance with the aspiring young songwriter who lives next door. And these are the very lines. Her roommate is trying to talk sense into her, show her the error of her thinking. These are the very lines from the movie. There you go again, mooning over that good-for-nothing songwriter. He's wonderful. Honey, he's a songwriter. Well, Winston heard that. He said, I got to put a song right there in that scene. And this would have been it. You're young, the sky's the limit. Honey, stop and think a minute. When your hair has gray streaks in it, he'll still be crouching at that spinet. There is no future in it. You're courting your downfall. He is only a songwriter after all. From LA to the Atlantic, you can find a good mechanic. Even butchers are quite gainfully employed. You don't even have to look. You can find a working cook everywhere that dinner is enjoyed. Here's the reason they're maligned you. When a big contract gets signed here, he won't find a place to put his John Hancock. He'll still be humming bars of 8 like a distracted reprobate. When you're 80 and there's nothing left to hawk. He's only a songwriter, and you know what they're like. At the piano all day long, out cabareting every night. Don't go wasting all your time, he won't be making one thin dime. He'll never shower you in diamond rings and furs. You won't be going to the Rockefeller's ball. He is only a songwriter after all. He is not the one they'll seek when the plumbing springs a leak. No one summons the musician in despair. It won't be him they'll call when the plaster starts to fall. They won't be screaming, hey, this chorus needs repair. No one ever yelled disaster, can you get here laughter. Need a house call, I've got music on the brain. Whoever heard, hey, you're in luck, you could make a tidy buck, 'cause I need someone to punch up my refrain. He's only a songwriter, and you know what they're like. At the piano all day long, on cabaret and every night. Don't go wasting all your time, he won't be making one thin dime. He'll never shower you in diamond rings and furs. He is not someone that FDR will call. He is only a songwriter after all. He is only a songwriter, will not make a good provider or a wedding vow reciter. Puts the sign on the cider. A young girl needs a wealthy man to guide her. He is only a songwriter, only a songwriter, only a songwriter after all. So that didn't work out too well for Winston, and so he moved right on to the next project, and he heard about an up-and-coming young filmmaker and animator who had a plan to make the world's first full-length, full-color animated musical. And Winston thought, I got to get in on the ground floor on this, but he sort of misread the whole intent that Disney had for the film. It was based, of course, on a fairy tale. So let me set the scene for you. We're in the little cottage in the woods, and the 7 dwarfs have gone off to work, and Snow White is there in the Snow White dress. She's alone, and she's surrounded by little Tweety birds and little squirrels and chipmunks and stuff, and she sings for you this song. Sneezy, sleepy, happy, dopey, grumpy, bashful duck, who knew Mother Nature grew her bachelors in a flock. All of them together would not make a full-grown man. I thought that I might find my prince, instead I found a clan. Sneezy, sleepy, happy, dopey, grumpy, bashful duck, they have me cooking, cleaning, scrubbing round the clock. Long johns in the bathroom, sweat socks in the fridge. What I found under their beds could make me jump right off a bridge. They make me want to try a snort of what is in this flask. Think that I deserve a short hiatus from this task. Sneezy, sleepy, happy, dopey, grumpy, bashful duck. Honestly, not one of them is smarter than a rock. Mining all day long, but do they give a girl a ring? Whistle while they work, but not a single one can swing. They make me wanna sample what got left here in the snifter. Think I'll eat this apple that I purchased from a drifter. Sneezy, sleepy, happy, dopey, grumpy, bashful duck. Folks back at the castle would all surely be in shock. Ladies of the courtly class would probably think it's weird. I found myself distracted by the length of Grumpy's beard. I don't know in this forest what they use for legal tender. If I get my hands on some, I'll go right on a bender. Sneezy, sleepy, happy, dopey, grumpy, bashful duck, who knew Mother Nature grew her bachelors in a flock. All of them together would not make a full-grown man. I thought that I might find my prince, instead I found a clan. Thought that I might find my prince, instead I found a clan. Hey! So there you have it. It's not normal for me to do a seasonal song at this time of year, a holiday seasonal song. But I thought I'd break with tradition and do one anyway. The a couple of years ago, the wonderful theater in Rochester, Michigan, Meadowbrook Theater, does a beautiful, beautiful yearly presentation of the famous A Christmas Carol. They do such a beautiful job. And they have this group of carolers who come out in the period costume and sing the authentic period Christmas carols as part of the intro to the show. And of course, they go around to the local events around the holiday, the tree lightings and so forth. And the mayor speaks, and of course the big guest of honor is that chubby guy in the red suit, with the white beard. And a couple years ago, they had this particular Kris Kringle character that showed up, and it was obvious to everyone he had been egregiously overserved. And that seemed like it called for a song. The nices and the naughties got mixed up on his list. Guess they found the mistletoe 'cause all the elves got kissed. Spotted on the radar screen a weaving across the sky. I heard he talked his way out of another DUI. What to my wondering eyeballs should suddenly appear? A badly dented sleigh and a terrified reindeer. He must have started early, not sure why he's so surly, mixing his Jack Daniels and his beer. Ho ho, he must have started early, acting pretty squirrely. Santa started early this year. Mangled front yard ornaments were hanging off his sled. Rudolph's not the only one whose nose was turning red. The kids left out some cookies, the kind I heard he liked. I came back down to check and found the eggnog had been spiked. When I looked to find the source of all the cussing I could hear, with a lampshade where his cap should go, it quickly became clear. He must have started early, not sure why he's so surly, mixing his Jack Daniels and his beer. Ho ho, he must have started early, acting pretty squirrely. Santa started early this year. Maybe Mrs. Claus has started nagging him too much, or tiny tots are texting all day long to keep in touch. Maybe when they came out with that Father Christmas app, might have been the final straw that made Kris Kringle snap. He came crashing down the chimney, I heard his glasses break. Dismembered dolls and crushed up trains lay scattered in his wake. When walking by the neighbor's porch, I chanced to overhear their plate of magic brownies had just somehow disappeared. Ere he swerved right out of sight, his ho-ho-ho's becoming slurred. Strangest part of all, it was December 23rd. Oh, he must have started early, not sure why he's so surly, mixing his Jack Daniels and his beer. Ho ho, he must have started early, acting pretty squirrely. Santa started early this year. Santa started early, showed up prematurely. Santa started early this year. There you have the out of season seasonal song. So blues, there's a million blues songs written by about a million different subjects and a million different sort of demographics of blues. But there's one particular demographic that's conspicuously absent from the blues lexicon. They've been left out. And that is, of course, the 1%. The 1%, they get the blues, they get sad, they get depressed, just like the rest of us. Their life is hard too, especially right now. So they need a blues song written for them. And I thought I would just be the guy to fill in that gap. Got the blues this morning, my Mercedes in the shop. Got the blues this morning, my BMW's in the shop. You know I feel so bad since the seat massager stopped. I said, baby, oh baby, can you give me a ride? Baby, oh baby, can you give me a ride? Yeah. She said, you have to wait, daddy, till my nails have dried. I went down to the workshop, my big promotion's overdue. Down to the workplace, big promotion's overdue. They're redecorating my corner office, I'm gonna have to wait a whole day or two. I said, Jeeves, oh Jeeves, hand me down my Chardonnay. Jeeves, oh Jeeves, hand me down my Chardonnay. Since my therapist left town, these blues are here to stay. I got 'em this evening, my satellite dish had quit. Got 'em this evening, my cable had quit, just like it did in this program. They reupholstered my sofa, baby, I ain't got no place to sit. My Prozac bottle's empty, you know that makes me wanna shout. My Viagra bottle's empty, that really makes me wanna shout. And to top it all off, my hair transplant fell out. I said, Jeeves, oh Jeeves, hand me down my Chardonnay. Jeeves, oh Jeeves, hand me down my Chardonnay. Since my therapist left town, these blues are here to stay. Oh Jeeves, hand me down my Chardonnay. Jeeves, yeah, hand me down my Chardonnay. Since my therapist left home, these blues are here, these blues are here, these blues are here to stay. These blues are here to stay. There we go. And so we come to the end of the program. I have one more song to give you as we ease our way out. I want to thank everyone so much for joining us today, and those of you who stuck through the little bit of a miscalculation we had in terms of the technical issues. Thank you so much for sticking around. If someone got the answer to the trivia question, I will let you know how to receive your prize. We'll be back next week, hopefully with no crashes, no problems, no nothing. We'll be perfect. This is, we're getting better as we go along, right? And with a new guest, a new surprise mystery guest next week, and a new theme, not novelty songs. So I was at the Wheatland Festival, the big music festival in central Michigan. It's a huge 3-day festival. And I happened to be there, and on the very first day, something very dreadful, just a heartbreaking event, happened to a friend of mine. She was devastated. It was such a great loss. And I didn't think she was going to get over it. She was so upset. And so I thought, I needed to create a song of consolation to help her feel better. And by the end of the festival, I had written her a song. This is for Michelle. A smartphone at a festival will help you find your way. It has 1 million functions you can use throughout the day. And as every woman knows, when the day slips into night, one thing those Porta Johnnies lack is a working inside light. Michelle is cell phone reliant, even on a party trip. She needs that flashlight function. Alas, she lost her grip. Stood in shocked amazement, wondering what to do. She could see it shining bravely through a patch of oozing goo. The cell of Michelle is in the porta-potty. After today, her coverage will be spotty. She'll no longer send you selfies that are a bit too naughty. The cell of Michelle is in the porta-potty. When she asked them for suggestions, her friends were of no use. First someone made a crack about her mobile phone abuse. They said, let's redefine that term. It's clearly a misnomer, 'cause calling it a smartphone don't refer to its owner. Hey, how about if we wait till someone goes inside the jar? Then we'll try and call to see if somehow it's still on. Maybe we can hack it, get the thing to speak. Say stuff like, hey, nice package, when some biker takes a leak. The cell of Michelle is in the porta-potty. After today, her coverage will be spotty. You can't call her up and invite her to Pilates. The cell of Michelle is in the porta-potty. Wonder where they'll take it when they clean the potty mess. Shouldn't be that hard to track. Whoops, no GPS. She wished that she could pinch herself, find out she'd been dreaming. Only consolation, at least she wasn't streaming. Oh man. Her calendar photos, contacts gone, heartbreaking to believe it. She asked us who was brave enough to reach down and retrieve it. I said her phone alone is just not worth the risk to life and limb. But I might go if you throw an extra 100 in. The cell of Michelle is in the porta-potty. After today, her coverage will be spotty. Used to do most everything but beam her up Scotty. The cell of Michelle is in the porta-potty. And it's Stella, Ella, Ola, lost my Motorola, dingle, dangle, dearie, hear my drowning Siri. Old King Cole is a merry old soul, my Nokia's in the dung hole. Hey, diddle little, a cat in the fiddle, my Sony's in the piddle, and it's hi-ho the dairy-o, skip to the loo and stereo, skip to the loo, skip to the loo, skip to the loo, my darling, skip to the loo, skip to the loo, skip to the loo, my darling. The cell of Michelle is in the porta-potty. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We'll be back next week with a whole new show and new guests and new themes. I love you guys. Stay safe and bye.